Morning, everyone. Shavua Tov. Good Vach. Hope you're all well. Wasn't it a wonderful Shabbos? We managed, and we didn't get wet in the horrendous rain. So it's a good weather. Actually, it's a good day actually to stay at home, especially because of lockdown. But it's looking rather miserable outside. But we'll try and keep you nice and warm and cozy indoors. So today's learning is in memory of Harav Yaakov Tzvi ben David Aryeh, that of course is the name for Rab Lord Sachs, as well as Leah Bas Bible, Tzvi Bas Mordechai, Abram ben David Slavin, Shlomo ben Yisrael Morris, Zipporah Fegel Bas Reuben Baruch, Shalom ben Elali, Ben Bas Bible from Shana Bas Yaakov Shmuel, Sarah Malka Bas ben Yomin, Yirmiyahu Yechir ben Echav and Moshe Eliezer, as well as the Yortzites for today. Leah Bas Avram Mordechai Bar and Fox, Elka Bas Yitzchok Hart, Moshe ben David Pliskin. I didn't know whether we did yesterday's ones on Friday. I don't think we did. Yitzchok Meir ben Zev Jacobs, Chava Bas Mordechai Frankenthal, and Tzaddik ben Abraham Goldstein, as well as, one second, just bear with me. We wish long life to Richard Mendel, and the Hebrew name, Richard's mother passed away, Kayla Bela Bas Chanoch. I hope I've got that right. Kayla Bela Bas Chanoch. Wish long life to Richard, who is sitting Shiva, or will be sitting Shiva. Long life to all the family. Michelle, please pass on our long life wishes to Richard. Lovely to see everyone this morning. Good morning, Rachel, Peter, Michelle, Carol, Mervyn, Eitan, Estelle, David, and Powell. Mervyn, you look like you got a suntan. Where have you been? I don't know where you can get a suntan in the current climate with lockdown. Anyways, under the sun lamp, no doubt. Again, Mervyn. Okay, so we are now learning about the Shar Hakina, the gate of envy. The gate of envy. Nothing is as perilous as the gate of envy and jealousy. Many a crime have been committed as a result of envy and jealousy. And there are a couple of points. Let's just read what he says before I make my additional points. He says here, envy is a branch of anger. No one escapes it. For we see all men pulling one after another. When one man sees his neighbor acquiring one of the worldly acquisitions, whether it be a type of food or clothing or building a house or accumulating money, he exerts himself to do likewise, thinking, my friend has this, I will have it too. This was intimated by the great King Solomon, the wisest of men, and I saw that all labor and all excellence of workmanship was one man's envy of another. We have a terrible illness in this world, a malady that is known as envy. It eats us up and is the cause of so much pain, sorrow, anguish in our lives. So the question is, and this is a famous question, is how could, we know it's one of the 10 commandments that we're not meant to be jealous. How can God legislate that we are not to be envious, that we're not meant to be jealous? After all, that is an emotion. How can I tell you how to feel? How can I tell you how not to feel? It's an old question that is addressed most famously by the Ibn Ezra. And the Ibn Ezra says that, in fact, he gives a parable which relates to a princess. And if we imagine the royal family and the princess, so he says the same way that a commoner would not entertain the possibility when he's looking to get married that he could ever win the heart of the princess and have permission to marry. We're talking about in days gone by. Obviously, things have changed now, and anyone, a commoner, can marry a prince. But in days gone by, it was unthinkable. Nobody entertained the possibility that a commoner could marry a member of the royal family. They were off limits. They were a completely different realm, a different world. And therefore, says the Ibn Ezra, that is the way that we are meant to view it, right? Human nature, he says, only desires those things that he or she can relate to, right? A person doesn't covet things that are removed from them, that are considered out of their league. Okay, so therefore, an intelligent person will realize that certain things are attainable and certain things are unattainable. It's usually those things that we feel are within our bracket, within our realm, that we become jealous of. Those things that are completely out of our ballpark, we do not, we are not jealous of. So, for example, if we hear of somebody that, they just bought themselves a new yacht, a huge ship and they're sailing from Monaco in the, Monte Carlo in the Mediterranean. We're not jealous, it doesn't eat us up, right? We're not struggling with that particular thing, and that is because it is considered, we have in our minds, we have trained ourselves to know that that is something that's off limits. So what the Ibn Ezra is suggesting, friends, is that the same way that we can recognize that something that is completely out there, out of our league, is off limits, like the analogy he gives with a princess in the castle, so it is that we should recognize that whatever somebody else has is not part of us. It is out of our league. It is not part of who we are. And Rav Israel Talbot explains that, explaining this Ibn Ezra, that every one of us has a specific purpose in life, right? We are all created as individuals. There are no two people that have ever been created, even identical twins, that are exactly the same. Okay, that are exactly the same. There is, incidentally, the tallest Jewish twins in the world are very, very famous. Their names are the Rechnitz brothers, and they've done exceptionally well in business, religious men, and very big philanthropists. And one of the things is that when you see them, they are they are pretty much identical, very hard to tell apart unless you look very closely. And despite that, we are being told that each person, the Talmud tells us, is unique. And therefore, if everyone is unique, everyone needs different things. I have different needs to you because I am made up of slightly different stuff. My capabilities, the opportunities, my mission is slightly different to yours because I am I and you are you. And therefore, we receive in life exactly nothing less and nothing more than what we are required, what we need to accomplish and achieve our mission in life. Okay? There is no point in somebody who is, who's got 20/20 vision, right, being jealous of my glasses. They would never be jealous of my glasses. Why? Because it's something that has no relevance, no use to them in their lives. Okay? So it is, with so many other things, that we see people with, if it doesn't have any relevance to us, then it shouldn't resonate with us. It is a very, very important ideal. And in fact, we know that some of the greatest crimes that have happened in the course of history have happened precisely because of the gate of envy, because people cannot live in their own world. They want to live in other people's worlds. And it's a sickness. It is literally a sickness that we see. And it's not just with envy about possessions, it's about what accomplishments. Some people, they cannot, the Yiddish phrase is vergin. Anyone heard of the phrase vergin? Vergin is they cannot allow anyone else to be happy. They can't be happy for somebody else's accomplishments and achievements or for what they've got in life. They can't allow it. They've got like a grudge against that person, and they want to do everything they can to pull them down. It's a terrible, terrible illness. And I think that we struggle with it in our society more than in American society. American society is more about celebrating, the successes of the immigrants, of people that have, made it up the corporate ladder, that are success stories. We struggle more with that in Europe. So there is the story of King David's son, who was a renegade and created loads of issues, and he was offered the opportunity towards the end of his life to do teshuvah, to repent, and not only that, but he would if he did genuine, sincere penitence, then he would have a special place in the world to come. And he asked the question, The whole of his life was about trying to pull King David down rather than pulling himself up. And he said, "Me Barosh, who is going to be at the front? Who's going to be at the head when we're talking about having our place in the world to come?" And he was told that it would be King David, not him. And he said, "Then I can't do it. I would rather die. I'd rather lose my place in the world to come. I can't take it that somebody else is going to be ahead of me in the line. I can't take it that somebody else is going to be receiving a reward or be acknowledged for their successes. I can't take it that they've got a new car or that their daughter's getting married." And therefore, we put unwittingly an ayin hara. We give people an ayin hara because we speak badly, we're critical, we don't allow people to have success and accomplishments in life. And for this very reason, because of jealousy, because of envy, that is how the whole thing of the Bengala, right, the red Bengala, who grew up with a Bengala. So the idea of the Bengala was that we're trying to ward off the evil eye. The evil eye is not something out there. It's that we all have the capability of putting a good eye, an ayin tov, or an ayin ra on other people. The good eye is that we're happy for them, right? We want to help them make a simcha. We want to help them celebrate. We go over to them. We send them flowers. We send them a card. The other way is, I can't believe they didn't deserve that. Why are they getting it? And you know the shidduch, the whatever they've got in life, whatever they've achieved, we pull people down, and it comes from a lack of self-esteem. And it's something that we all of us, I'm speaking to myself as much as to anyone, we all need to work on, because there are things that eat us up, and those things are usually envy and jealousy, and it's things that are deep-seated in our hearts, and we need to go through a process of working on ourselves to think about what it is, why is it that we feel that way, and what is it that we can do to change ourselves. If we change ourselves, then we will feel happy and content in our lot, in what we have, and in that way, please God, we will be able to see tremendous success in all that we do. Okay, there is much more to say, and of course I've gone off in the words of Lord Denning, on a frolic of my own, so we will stop there for today. Lovely to see you, and a welcome. I don't think I mentioned Sarah, Richard, Michael, lovely to see you as well. We'll continue with Psalm 23. Psalm 23. Okay. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even when I walk in the valley of darkness, I will fear no evil, for you're with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Adon Elamim Zachoes Nishmois, Leabas Bible, Sivas Mordechai, Abram ben David Slavin, Shalom ben Yisrael Morris, Tipora Pegel Bas Ruven Borg, Shalom ben Eleli, ben Bas Bible, from Moshe Bas Yaakov Shmo, Sarah Malka Bas ben Yomin, Yirmiyahu Yechiel, ben Chave Moshe Eliezer, Kayla Bela Bas Chanoch, and the Yorksites. Yitzchok ben Zev Jacobs, Chava Bas Mordechai Frankentor, Sadi ben Avram Goldstein, Lebas Avram Mordechai Bar, Elam Bas Yitzchok Hart, Moshe ben David Pliskin, Shalchol Ilaman Began, Aiden Taymanu Chasam Lachim Balarakam, Yasirei Besaisa Kanafab Lambim, Visavas Chayvin Destroasam Adonai Nachlazam, Yanuch Bishlamish Gavam, Venomar Amen. Before we come to the full Shlema, announcement by Estelle Phillips at 9:43. The good news is that today Barnet is down by 40 COVID cases from last week. Yes, thank God things are coming down, but we cannot afford to be complacent, because we know that the threat is constantly there, and the next 2 weeks are critical, I am told, in terms of getting us out of lockdown by Hanukkah, which is what the whole country wants. Everyone wants to be out of lockdown by Hanukkah. So please stay tuned, and the more we pray, as we are doing and learning, please God, the situation will continue to improve. But thank you for the update, Estelle. Morning, David. Just a last little story. Have we got time for one more story? Anyone object? You're not going anywhere in a lockdown. Make yourselves at home. So let me share with you one little story. We mentioned it before, but it fits in with envy. And that is the story about this guy who had a man at a shop. He was selling books, as they do in Israel, Jewish books. And somebody else came to him and they said, I'd like some advice, how to open a shop, how to make a business, and he gave him all the content, he gave him loads of advice. Then he realized that the guy that he had just been asked for advice had rented a shop in this little road just a few doors away from him. Now, that would be something that I think that we would all struggle with, no? A competitor that first comes to you for all the advice, takes all the tips, gets the wholesale details, gets all your sources and locations, and then opens up, has the affront, the chutzpah to open up 2 or 3 doors away from you when you are selling a specific item, right? So he carried on, he worked on himself, and he carried on again and again, helping this man open the store. He helped him with everything, and lo and behold, not only did he not lose out, but he gained, because it became a focal point, a hub for book people that were interested in buying Jewish books, and therefore he gained. But my point being is that is exactly what we are talking about. He recognized in himself what Orchos Tzaddikim was saying, what I was saying, which is that you get all the resources and blessings that you need for your life. Your friend will get everything that they need for their life. You cannot have what they have, and he cannot have what you have, because everyone's been given exactly what they need. They say the story, with this will conclude, I could keep going for all day, about the people that were complaining in the shtetl about their lot. Everyone thought that someone else had it easier, and therefore they were told to take their pekel, this is the pekel, and to place it in the middle, and then they could choose a different pekel, okay, a different lot in life, if you want, for lack of a better word. And everyone placed it down, and then they all came, all the townspeople. They were able to come at the same time because it wasn't COVID, and they all looked, and in the end, everyone picked up one of the bundles, one of the pekels. And when they picked up the one which they wanted, you know what they realized? It was everyone picked up their pekel, the original pekel, because they were able to recognize and appreciate, right, at the end of the day, that they were getting exactly what they needed. Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have until we're threatened with losing it. Appreciate the blessings that we have in life. God bless Abraham with everything. We have everything. There is nothing more that we could possibly have for today. Tomorrow's a different day. Let's worry about today. We've got what we've got, what we need. Please God, we should be blessed, and we should use our blessings in the correct way. Wishing everyone well. Keep safe. Look after yourselves. Have a great week, and look forward to seeing you in the coming days. All the very